ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, teddy bear fondlers of all ages. Hello and welcome to my channel, where I'm probably drunk and setting things on fire is what matters. Today we are going to talk about something that pops in my suggestion algorithm more times than that Naked and Afraid episode with that really hot girl in it. Man, if I'd be there and naked, I'd be afraid of my wife seeing that episode. Now that's a scary thought. Today we are going to talk about Altoids survival kit. Now, I know what you're thinking, there's a crap tons of video on the subject already, but before you go on to watching cat videos and do-it-yourself guides you are never going to do, be honest, hear me out. So, my main issue is that there are plenty of people showing what they have in their kit, but not enough people that actually go out and test it. And I know having an Altoids survival kit is cool and awesome, and it makes all the girls like you, but it doesn't mean anything if you can't kill a zombie or survive a nuclear winter with it. As such, I have issued a friendly challenge to my fellow bushcrafters. First, no surprise there, build an Altoid survival kit. Then, with only a tarp, a pot, a picture of Mila Kunis, Always, that's my wife throwing things at me, and some responsible food and liquids, you need to do the following. So you need to build a shelter, start a fire, cook a meal, boil water, spend the night outdoors, find north using 2 different ways, and build a functional trap. But don't trap anything, because, whatever it is, it must be cuddly, cute and furry. I'll be honest with you, I thought this would be easy. How hard can it be, right? You take a tin, you put things in it, and you're good to go. Well, no. This challenge kicked my ass harder than an Asian parent whose kid isn't a doctor yet. It was like wrestling with a stripper. The longer I was at it, the harder it got. And this, my fellow mountain yodelers, is the result of my blood, sweat and tears. My crowning achievement. My piece de la résistance. Feast your eyes on the Altoids tin. Just look at it. Look how sexy it is. You just want to put your gear into it, don't you? Don't you? Well, you can't, you sicko. It's mine. Now then, if I may quote Catholic priests from around the world, enough jibber jabber, and let's get down to the nuts and bolts. The tin itself is a standard Altoids tin, nothing special. It's square, it fits in your pocket, and it's pretty much impossible to break unless you're really swinging for it. I've sealed it with some... Focus, you stupid phone. Okay, with some high visibility electrical tape. Now, this makes it a little more water resistant, and it increases my chances of finding it when I drop it outdoors. And yeah, I will drop it. The first and the most important tool inside my survival tin is the Victorinox Farmer. And let me tell you, much like a Playboy subscription, this here is the keep that keeps on giving. It has a sharp knife for when you're depressed, a saw for if your arm ever gets caught under a boulder, and it has beer opener and a can opener, which is like 90% of my diet. The last tool it has is something that is described on the Victorinox website as a reamer. A reamer! And it punches holes in things. I swear, it's as if this material writes itself. The only downside of this tool is that, much like many Swiss Army knives, it is not locking. So be careful on your fingers with it. That's it. To keep the knife nice and sharp, we have a small, ultra compact, ultra cheap diamond sharpener I mean, it won't make it manscaping sharp, but it will do the job enough if the knife somehow gets dull. Our next priority is fire, and for that we have here this quite small ferrocerium rod. Now I know what you're thinking, but it is so small. Well, one, you sound like my wife, and two, it's not the size that matters, but how you use it. Great. Now I sound like I'm talking to my wife. So here is the brutally honest truth. She is probably not as satisfied as you think she is. And another brutal honest truth, but this time about ferro rods, if you fail to start a fire with one, the fault is usually with the Tinder, the striker, or with you. Don't get me wrong, some ferro rods can't produce spark to save your life, but they are few and in between. For striker, we will be using the Victorinox saw, and the way you actually use this saw for striker isn't like you'd think, isn't like this, but you place the saw on the ground or on some solid surface and you scrape the ferro rod across it. This will produce the spark that you need. And last but not least in the fire category is Tinder, and for Tinder I will be using strips of duct tape. I have it on the inside and on the outside. I actually thought of adding some secondary form of Tinder and just may use it or add it later on, but for now this is what I have due to space constraint inside the team. Now then, not to sound like an ass, but if you aren't very comfortable with ferro rods, just add a lighter in there, you'll be good enough. A lighter is more prone to malfunctions over long periods inside the tin, but it's better than failing to start a fire. So now that we have tools and we have fire, our next piece of kit is Viagra. No, wait, I mean Dyneema. Yes, that. To whomever does not know, Dyneema cord is, well, it's magic. It's an elvish rope crafted by the finest wizard of Middle Earth. It's light, compact, strong, and glows blue when orcs are near. I have here several meters of the rope, and I mean, it is crazy strong, crazy compact, and crazy light. I do not know how they do it. If I fail to make shelter with this, well, I deserve to die in the end of the world. That's right. I also have here one multi-use zip tie. I mean, you can close it and then you can open it and then you can, well, surprise, surprise, close it again. This is for binding, tightening and other knot cheats. Zip ties are known and loved for. This is not bushcraft, this is cheating, but I mean, for such a kit, it will work. For illumination we have a super small keychain flashlight and a fishing stick light. I mean, this will not be enough for a pitch black night navigation to the outside of your crush's window, but it just might show you what is where when you go for it for that full moon number 2 drop, if you know what I mean. For emergency, we have a button compass and a whistle. Now, if you have ever experienced the joy that is navigating with one of these compasses, you probably know that proper navigation with this is bloody impossible. But it does give you the general idea of north, south, east, west, and damn it, it's better than nothing. The whistle is for when you will eventually get lost due to the quality of said button compass. Why? Because screaming for help is both tiring and embarrassing. After some time of screaming like a little girl, you don't even want to be rescued anymore. You just give up and start crying. For first aid we have again the duct tape and some alcohol pads. I wish I could cram in more medical items in there, but I swear there wasn't even enough place to put some band-aids in. So we'll have to make do with what we'll make do. So this is it. This is my Altoids tin. You've seen it. You've seen what's inside it. You've seen my picture of Mila Kunis. My next step and my next video is going to be about doing an overnight with Mila and the box. So there you go. I will see you next time, and please tell me what you think about in the comments, or even better, make one of your own and upload it on YouTube. Bye!